Hello, my name is Kerry Arthur and you join me on a nice, warm summer's day in England. It is like 1,000,000 degrees in this office. I'm going to die. But even though it's Thursday and we don't usually do a 40k video on Thursday, it's usually Monday, Wednesday and Friday, I had to do this one because it's not going to be that long. But we have leaked images of Mortarion, he of Death Guard fame. Oh my god, it is so hot in here. And I wanted to share it, just in case you hadn't seen it. You probably have seen it. It's all over the shop. It appeared overnight, and the people are loving it, sort of. Well, the image is getting shared a lot. There's a lot of discussion as to whether people love it or hate it, as always. But that's just what we're going to talk about today. Not going to be a particularly long video, because it doesn't need to be, and I'm not going to waffle on for that long. I'm just going to say, you know what? I mean, it should be on the screen right now, unless I've forgotten to edit it in. And it's not the highest resolution image. I'd like to see a bit more detailed photographs. That'd be nice. I'm sure they'll show up on the Warhammer community site in no time, because that's how Games Workshop does things these days. As soon as something's leaked, they have much better, nicer photos ready to go, just at the click of a button. But from this, positives. Positives, what I like. Things I like. I like the wings. The wings are solid. They are quality. They are not like stupid angel wings. They are not feathery, fancy wings. Instead, they are like tattered insect, weird, horrible, Nurgle-esque wings, which is good because it would look stupid if they weren't. I do like that aspect of it. I have to admit, the gun looks pretty cool, and from what we can see of the scythe, it looks alright. Although, something in the back of my head says that when Mortarion was described to us in the Dark Imperium novel, a point was made that the scythe, Silence, wasn't infected with anything. It was like the only thing that wasn't. It was just his scythe, whereas that looks to be sort of fleshy and weird. Unless I'm misremembering that, in which case do correct me in the comments, but I'm pretty sure a point was made that it wasn't particularly Nurglified and it was still just a massive scythe. I could be mistaken. I like the pistol, which I can't remember what its name is now. Lightbringer? The Lantern, that's it. Looks good. I'm liking that aspect of it. I have to admit, I'm not a massive fan of how busy it is. I kind of feel like Mortarion has got a lot going on with that armour. Now, that is a complaint I've seen a few times about the new Death Guard models, and I have to admit that whilst the Death Guard models are a bit busy, I haven't found them overly busy. Like, I haven't found that there's a bit too much going on. It's been just the right amount, and the context of the busyness has been, you know, fleshy bits, infected bits, that kind of thing, which, you know, I can get behind. It's Death Guard. I like that. I think it fits them quite well. I'll be honest, I kind of feel like Mortarion isn't actually... I don't know. For him, the cloth and stuff, like the hood that he's got over his head and the cloth that seems to be trailing all the way down to the base of him, actually in practice, like actually in this finished version of him, I'm not convinced about. I think it looks a bit too floaty. I think it gives him a bulk that he doesn't necessarily need to have. We've seen leaked images of Mortarion before, the plastic sculpt of Mortarion, which I'm sure I've talked about in one of these videos at some point. And in that, he looked a bit more gaunt, a bit more Grim Reaper-esque, a bit thinner than he does in this image. In this one, he seems to have like an artificial bulk that is coming from the sheer amount of stuff that's coming off him, and that actually is kind of not what the Death Guard currently look like, which is, I know it's weird to say, but when you actually look at the Death Guard models from the Dark Imperium box, they are bulky, yes, but they're not bulky because they've got so much crap on them. They're bulky because they're swollen, because their armour is rupturing, because they've got things like grenades, or they've got a knife or a gun, or, you know, the backpack or whatever is larger than it would otherwise be. They seem to be bulky kind of organically, if that makes sense. Mortarion feels like he's bulky just because he's got so much stuff hanging off him, which I don't know if I like so much. Things like the incense sort of sensors that are coming off him from the chains, I think they look okay, but they kind of look a bit static when you compare it to the rest of his pose. The rest of his pose, to me, suggests that he's flying down from above. He's descending to the ground. the sensors look fairly straight and static. I'm getting the feeling of movement from Mortarion. I'm not getting the feeling of movement from the stuff that's hanging off him, which is making it a really weird contrast. And the same goes for the smoke coming off the back of him, actually. The fact that there's smoke sort of not going in the direction that it looks like he's travelling is a bit weird. There are certainly bits that I do like. I like his head. I like the hood aspect of his head, and I like the rebreathers he's got on. Those look decent. Shoulder pads look pretty good. It's a bit weird the way the shoulder pads have got pipes going from the chest to the shoulders. That's a little odd. I just don't really see they don't seem to do any sort of like, what's the function of that, I guess is what I'm going for. It doesn't look like it's particularly growth there. It just looks like tubing. So I don't know, that aspect is a bit odd. I think if it wasn't for the sheer amount of stuff hanging off him, I would really like it, because the armour looks to be good underneath all of the robes and the sensors and the various other gubbins, and the shoulder plates certainly give the impression that the armour would have a nice sort of baroque feel to it, but you just can't see it that well. So I don't know, I'm kind of torn. There are aspects of this model I really like. I like the wings, I like the head, I like the rebreather, I like the shoulders, I like the arms, the scythe, I like the lantern. What little I can see of the armour, I really like. But I just feel like there's too much hanging off him. I think it kills the pose. I think it kills the movement that looks like he's supposed to have, which is a little bit disappointing. But you know, that's just me. That's why I'm opening up to you guys. That's why it's been on the screen this entire time. I want to know what you think of the new Mortarion model from this leak. Do you like it? Do you not like it? If you don't like it, what don't you like? If you do like it, what do you like? Let me know in the comments below, because I reckon this is going to be a divisive one. The model, not the video. Just because I feel like it's going to be a bit Marmite. Yeah, let me know. I'd be interested to see what you think. And, well, at least we do have another trait of Primarch. Whether or not we particularly like the model, Mortarion is back, and that's fucking quality. Thank you very much for watching. Come back tomorrow for more regularly scheduled Warhammer 40k content. I'll see you then. Thanks very much for watching. Bye for now.